Today on the Dr. Steve Show, if you or someone you love suffers from acid reflux, you know it's hard to sleep comfortably. Until now, we've got a mattress for you.
This is Dr. Steve. Feel inspired.
This show is going to change your life.
Feel connected. Feel better.
Feel better is not just a slogan for the show. It's actually a challenge, a mission, and a promise from me to you to help you live a healthier life.
This is Dr. Steve.
Hi, I'm Dr. Steve Salvatore. Thanks so much for joining me today. We're going to feel a lot better and be a whole lot smarter after today's show. Up front, if you or someone you love suffers from acid reflux, you know how miserable it can be. Well, joining me now with a solution is Kelly Minson. And Kelly, you know how miserable it can be because your husband had it, right?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so he's actually a physician.
Yes.
Tell me the story about how he discovered he had acid reflux.
He woke me up real early one morning and he said, "Can you get up and take me to the hospital?" He said, "I swallowed a bug last night while I was running, started coughing, and now I can't stop, and I'm having trouble breathing." Before I could even get up and get dressed, he was holding up a piece of paper that said, "Call 911."
Right, so he was serious.
Absolutely.
All right, you got to the hospital. They said you have a silent reflux disease.
Yes.
Your husband does. And then you kind of created this. And I love this because as a doctor, I'll tell you that so many times we tell people as part of a treatment plan, elevate the head of the bed.
Right. And
people have a king-size bed or a queen-size bed, and they go home and they go,
"That's not easy.
How is that going to happen?" Right? We say, prop up a couple of pillows, but you created something here that's a little different. Explain to me what this is.
I did. Well, fortunately, when we were still in the emergency room, the ENT doctor told me he needs to sleep head elevated for 6 to 8 weeks until we can do a biopsy to check for esophageal cancer. Mm-hmm. Reflux is the #1 cause of esophageal cancer. Right. And at that point, Matt held up a note that said my grandfather died of esophageal cancer.
Oh, great.
So
it just gets better.
I'm motivated by fear. And I get home and start reading everything I can get. But before we left, I said, well, you know, we'll stop at that big store and get you a wedge. And
right,
the doctor heard me say that. He said, no, don't do that. Sleeping head elevated doesn't mean bent in the middle. It means on an incline. And then I got a tutorial about why being bent in the middle with reflux specifically is bad.
And also, though, lying on a wedge, it's too short.
It forces you to sleep on your back. You end up at the foot of the bed. We have chiropractors that love our product because people try to sleep on short wedges for reflux and end up in the chiropractor's office.
Right, because if you are on a wedge, like you mentioned, you have to sleep on your back. With this, you can sleep on your stomach or on your side.
And I do.
And, right, and you're still on an incline.
I have a mild case of reflux, and I sleep face down.
All right, so I'm gonna actually try this out because
love that.
it's air mattress, and then it's got this little foam thing
memory
on
foam top.
Okay, so I can lay down on here, and now I sleep with a firm mattress, so I like that. So this is already feeling pretty good, but this is really comfortable, and even if I put a pillow behind my head, I'm good.
You're good, and you don't feel head elevated right off the bat. You still that's one of the #1 comments I get is people go, "Well, I don't really feel the incline."
Right.
But it's there. It's the recommended 7 inches that that will allow gravity to simply keep everything that's in your stomach or in your head going down in the right direction.
Right, because I don't really feel like I'm on a steep incline.
Right.
And for everybody at home who's watching, I'm 6'4".
Right.
And this fits me pretty well. So average people obviously aren't that tall, but this is great. So
a twin size is exactly half the size of a king size bed, but it comes in twin, full, queen, and king.
Today's doctor's orders is about that annoying heartburn you've been dealing with. You know, earlier in the show, we talked about acid reflux and GERD and how it can put you at risk for esophageal cancer, one of the most deadly forms of cancer. So if you've been suffering with acid reflux and taking those medications from the drugstore without going to your doctor, it's time to get checked out. You see, those pills you're taking aren't supposed to be used long term. So get checked and get to the bottom of your problem. There is a solution. You just have to find it. I'll see you next week.